smart talk. They talk about your art talk. Pushing the cart talk while at the Walmart talk. I got what you need. You got what I need.
Man, today we talk about a very influential person in the Baton Rouge industry, you know, Baton Rouge culture. The scene down here is very, like, advanced, I would feel to say, because we really go into a new era of music. And I think you kind of might be spearheading it with this X1 shit, but for those who haven't heard or don't know about you, like, just go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Well, I'm xelA7th. I make music. I usually just keep it as simple as that. And my new project, X1, just dropped today. So
X1. So you are xelA7th, and the title is called X1. So what's the title about, man? Tell me a little about just the story behind the name. I know it's been a long process to get this tape out here, so.
yeah, definitely. Well, it all came about last September, so September 2020. I was running it with Ryan J, and we were talking about me joining Divine again and stuff like that. And the idea just came to me that for my first project, I could make it like xelA7th Volume 1 or something, and like start some kind of trilogy. And I kind of view it as a new beginning, so that's why I wanted to call it X1, and like
Right.
new starting point for new listeners, or if you've been listening, you already know, but you could start here again for the rebirth, if people want to call it that.
You say it's taken, I don't know if you mentioned it just now, but I've talked to you already. It's taken at least a year to really, yeah?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I started on this when I wrote I Thought I Knew, but I Thought I Knew is the earliest song I wrote for it, and I wrote that back in April 2020. But I didn't really start writing for this project until I wrote Lost You, which was in August last year. That was the first song where I was like, this is for this project that I'm working on. So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, bro. I remember when you did I Thought I Knew. So like when you originally pushed that idea out, did you have this project in mind? Like, or did you have a project in mind for it, or was it just kind of a spark of new creativity?
Okay, yeah, when I wrote I Thought I Knew, X1 wasn't even a thought yet. It was, we were like 1 month into the pandemic, and I was just like, I hit up my producer, Dom 300. I was like, hey, I want to make a song, and he sent me some beats. And that one was slapping the hardest, so I just made that song and put it out like 2 weeks later, which is something I don't really do. And that's the only song I dropped last year because I knew I wanted to take a year off when it came to projects, at least. So when I did work on something, I could put it out the next year, and it could feel like it was complete to me, because I've been dropping every year since like 2016, and I was like, hey, let's just take a break. Let's put a little more work in for this one and see how it goes.
Right. And ode to your production, Dom, bro. Back to that. Like, what's the story behind him? He's really seemed like he produces damn near everything on the tape.
Man, funniest thing is Dom lives in New York right now, but me and him went to elementary school together. And he was, I don't know how many grades under me, but it wasn't just one grade, it was like 2 or 3, I think. And our moms, they were at the same workplace, so they were friends. And in 2018, my mom was like, hey, Dom is coming to Baton Rouge and he makes beats. I think you two should meet. Like, you know, when parents like want to try to be supportive.
Yeah.
Like, I think you two should meet and see what's up. So he came in my room, and I played him Offspring, and he was like, yep, yo, this is you. And I was like, yeah. And then he played me some beats, and we first worked on the Autumn EP, that song Mark 1 that I recorded with Art Trace. And since then, like, we just been talking and building, and our chemistry is great. Like, if I hit him with something, he hits me back, and 9 times out of 10, it's exactly what I wanted. So he really has a head for this. That's why I'm always calling him the GOAT, because I've always wanted that producer that really gets me and can deliver on the kind of stuff I want, and he's definitely that person. He's a special dude.
Kind of describe the journey as a whole, just getting these sounds right for yourself, and how it kind of differed than what you had going into it, or what you imagined going into it?
Yeah, well, like lately before this one, I wasn't like sending songs to people as much beforehand to try to get their thoughts on it. But like I have my close group of people that I send music to now, and I'm like, hey, how you feel about this? It was just a demo. Sorry, that was a water bottle popping. I'll send my girl something to see how she feels about it. I just tried to get more input before it was the closing stages, and whether it was, hey, I think the second verse on the outro could be better, or if it's, hey, change these drums to this, or I think you should flow these lyrics like this instead of that. And sometimes I needed help myself. Like, it wasn't just me being finished and saying, what do you think about it? Like, I remember it was for the chorus for Away. I was like, I don't know how to sing this correctly. So I hit up Ryan and I was like, please help me.
Yeah.
Like, I had the lyrics, but I'm not a singer. So, but he helped me with that.
Are there any other features?
There is additional vocals by singer xelA7th on the song Comfortable. I got her, of course, doing some vocal acrobatics on that. She delivered. It was great. So, yeah, that's the only feature. I think that's the only other voice on there besides me.
I thought I Knew was the first song that you kind of pushed out from this project, not necessarily for it.
Right.
Going forward, what's the next music video?
I have one in mind. I don't want to spill it to everyone because I'm trying to see how reception goes for the
Keep it under wraps. Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
there's one coming.
Based on the reception for the project, it might change, because if people love this other song way more than that one, I might just shoot one for that. I thought I knew. I mean, I don't want to say it's an old song, but I really liked it when I put it out. And I was like, I just want to shoot a video to this one. I think it could be nice. And I came up with the idea. I wouldn't say I came up with it. I drew some inspiration from Janae Aiko's While We're Young video and Lil Wayne's How to Love video. And I was like, let me like try to tell the story of this song from like a third person point of view. And let's get like some stock footage of a couple just being a couple. So I hit up Zoe. I think it's Zoe or Zoe. Sorry if I got it wrong. And the Chase, and they were cool. Shot it with ransom reels. It was one of the hottest days outside, but we got the shoot done and the video came out beautiful and everyone in it was great. And that's it.
Going into the naming and the titles of your songs, did you feel like the order of it mattered as much this time than versus any other project you had?
It wasn't a premeditated thing, but every time I do a project, after I have the songs, I need to put not necessarily the names, but I need to put at least the content of those songs in a way where it feels like it flows and could.
Yeah, it definitely flows cohesively. Yeah.
Like if people want a story out of it, I want them to be able to get that. So that's what I usually do with my track list. I think I'm pretty open or kind of vulnerable musically. It's definitely a lot of small stories, but if you want to put it together, I can say I wrote it during a semester at school. So it's probably just, hey, what happened to X during the school semester? And boom, you got X1 from that. So
if you could pick 3 words to describe this project, how would you describe it?
I don't know from other people's perspectives. I could say from mine, because people tend to take what I do like way different than I intended to sometimes. But I can say, I know I want to say confident, but self-conscious at the same time. So that's 2 words. And open. I feel like I got more personal on this project. Like, I know people, if they look at a lot of my older music, it's like very centered around relationships and girls and stuff. I tried to go like into different aspects of my life for this one and let people know what's going on when it comes to other things that are going on in my life. So I think those would be the 3 words: open, confident, but self-conscious at the same time.
So what would be your advice as a GOAT?
Figure out not what you want to be, but who you are right now, because that'll be the easiest thing you can talk about, and it'll feel true to you as you let it out. And yeah, I feel that's something I wish I would have figured out earlier. So I think that'd be the first thing I say to them.
Tell me a little about the interlude and your outro.
The interlude is honestly one of my favorite messages on the song, because whenever I talk to my friends, or if my friends are venting to me about something, they're always like, yo, this and this happened, this and this happened. And I can tell like it's really affecting them, and like they're sad about it or they're angry about it. But at the end of them venting, they're like, you know what though? It's okay. I don't even care. Da, 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 da. Like they kind of gas themselves up. So on that Feel interlude, I just wanted to like let people know, like, hey, like if you're sad about this or angry about it, like that's okay right now. Like you don't have to not be like you're gonna be sad sometimes, you're gonna be angry, you're gonna be annoyed, but don't feel like you gotta, I mean, I want you to boss up eventually, but take your time to feel what you actually feeling right now also. So that was the message behind the Feel interlude. I was just noticing a lot of people do that and kind of run away from their feelings. So I wanted to say it's okay to feel how you feel. Oh, well, if you peep it, it doesn't sound like the other songs on the project, if you would agree.
Right.
You listen to X1 and you get to O, and I mean, I'm rapping really fast. I'm just rapping, like X is rapping. He's definitely rapping. He's not doing anything else except rapping. And on O, I was just like, let's kind of throw him a curveball, because we saw through the project what I could do, but we didn't see me do this on the project. And if you're listening, when the horns come in at the end, I'm kind of like talking a little trash to people, just a little bit, because like I don't want people to start feeling like I can't spit, or like when I want to. Like I can spit. It's not my main sound, but I enjoy to do it, so I wanted to do it right then. And plus, I named it O with the period, because personally, when I would listen to the album and I get to that song, I'd be like, oh, like I didn't expect this. And people they've actually been hitting me and saying like, yo, oh, it's crazy. Like, yo, oh, like I didn't expect O to do this and O that and O this. So I think the title really fits what it did on the project, and it's one of my favorite songs on there. Like when I get to rapping and I really like it and it's coming out how I want it to, and it's like that, I think it's just great. So yeah.
Moving forward, going off of the topic of what do you see for yourself as far as musically or sonically?
When it comes to my music, I typically don't want people to think of, why did he write this? I mean, I'm sitting here doing an interview. I might sound kind of contradictory right now, but I don't want them to make it about me when they're listening to it, if that makes sense. Because my favorite artists and bands, when I listen to their music, it did something for me, and I made it what I needed it to be for me at the time, even if that's not why they wrote it. But if I was going through something and it applied, I was like, yo, this is the song for that. So when people get my music, I want them to be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, or yo, this kind of feels like what I'm feeling right now. That's what I really want. I don't want them to be like, oh my God, what happened in his life? Like, let's ask him 100 questions to see why he's like, that's not what I want.
What's the next page, next chapter for xelA7th?
I want to be that artist from here that could say, hey, he did everything, like musically, like when it comes to genres and stuff. Like I still love rock. Rock is still my favorite genre. I still love R&B. I just know the vocals for it right now. But I wanna, X1 is more up my lane, I would say. But over time, it might not be with the X projects. It might not be with X2 or X3. But starting with this Rebirth, I want it to be like, oh, he can do like a lot of different things. He can do EDM, he can do pop, he can do alternative, he can do this. And I guess I just want to experiment and have a little fun, because on X1, I feel like I wouldn't say I mastered, but I definitely got better at a sound I had been wanting to get better at for some time. So it might be time to try something a little different next time.
Is there any message you want to give out to the fans of xelA7th or the people that haven't even heard this tape yet? I know you probably want to tell them niggas to go listen to it because they missing out.
Yeah, I definitely want y'all to go listen to it. And if you like it, share it with your friends or your family. If you want to let me know how you feel about it, you could do that. Whether you think it's trash or you think it's good, I honestly would love to hear both. And all I'll leave you with is it's okay to feel how you feel.
As far as I can beat on to the apology, I do it unapologetically. They be wanting to